Yeah, that's actually a great question. How did someone like me, who's not a chiropractor, get into chiropractic? For me, it all started back in 1997. I had just failed out of college miserably, and my parents were like, you've got to get a job because you're not living with us for the rest of your life. So I ended up working some odd and end jobs around town. I installed satellite dishes for a while. I worked as a bellhop for about 3 days. I worked in the service department of an auto dealership. I worked the front desk of a hotel. And I was just kind of bouncing around from job to job and, with really no direction and no purpose in my life whatsoever, no real ambition. And one day I was flipping through the newspaper and I saw that there was a healthcare facility, is how it was labeled in the newspaper, help wanted healthcare facility. So, my first thought was, hey, it's healthcare, it probably pays pretty good, because I was making minimum wage, which was like $5.25 an hour at the time. So I ended up answering that ad, and I showed up for my interview, and when I pulled into the parking lot, lo and behold, it was a chiropractic office. So when I saw that it was a chiropractic office, I don't know what it was, but something inside of me just started to get excited. And to make a long story short, I went in, I interviewed, and I got the job. And I started working for Dr. James Strong in Blairsville, Pennsylvania. And lucky for me, I was hired by a chiropractor that was extremely on purpose. And he began to teach me chiropractic philosophy. And I immediately fell madly in love with chiropractic. I loved everything that chiropractic stood for. And over the course of working for Dr. Strong for a few years, I started to learn about marketing. And I went out and I did screenings for him. I created educational handouts and flyers in the office. And I began to dabble in some of the marketing stuff. And after about 3 years of working for him, he and a few other chiropractor friends that I had made along the way encouraged me to go to chiropractic school myself and become a chiropractor. So in August of 2000, I moved to Dallas, Texas. So when I arrived in Dallas, I actually was rooming with three other guys at the time. They were all chiropractic students. They were already attending Parker College of Chiropractic, and I had to complete my undergraduate studies. And I've never been a very good student, so I spent 2 years trying to get my undergraduate studies finished, and I couldn't do it. I continued to just do very, very poorly in school. As a matter of fact, I took algebra 4 times and still didn't pass it. I failed out of chemistry, out of biology, and my whole world just kind of came crashing down because I had moved to Texas because I wanted to become a chiropractor. And in the process of all this, I was actually working for a couple of other chiropractors that shared a practice in Grapevine, Texas. I got a lot of experience there, and again began to develop my marketing skills because I was doing a lot of the marketing for their practice. And one of the guys that I roomed with, was roommates with, he was getting ready to graduate at the end of 2002 and came to me and said, hey man, I'm getting ready to graduate and open my own practice. And to be honest with you, man, I know nothing about marketing or building a practice, and I know that you've got a lot of experience doing that. How would you like to do a 50-50 partnership? I'll be the doctor, you can market the practice, and we'll work together and open an office. So I immediately jumped on that opportunity, and in October of 2003, he and I pulled together all the money that we had, which was $12,000 because we couldn't get a bank loan. And I had some credit cards and a refund check from the IRS that year. He had some credit cards. We pulled it together, $12,000, and we just went for it. And we opened Tree of Life Chiropractic in Allen, Texas. So after we opened the office, I thought we were just gonna have huge success coming right out of the gate. And that didn't happen. As a matter of fact, we struggled really, really bad the first year. And we almost went out of business 7 times the first year because we were barely scraping to make overhead. And after about a year of just failure after failure after failure, I started to get back into the green books, and I started to follow some people that I felt that were really strong with their philosophy, such as Patrick Gentempo and Dr. John DeMartini. And I started getting fired up about chiropractic again. And I really decided to, just immerse myself in marketing. And at that point in time, we were mainly just doing screenings, but I started incorporating teacher appreciation programs, internal referral campaigns, dinner workshops, reactivation campaigns, and I really started just going full throttle with the marketing. And to make a long story short, we took a $12,000 investment and almost going out of business 7 times in the first year to within 7 years, by 2010, we had a practice that was seeing about 250 patient visits a week and earning over $700,000 a year in gross income. And of course, all my friends, I started, telling them what was going on in our practice, and they were just bewildered. They're like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, how are you marketing your practice? What strategies are you using? And I began to teach my friends exactly what I was doing in the practice. And those guys, my chiropractor friends who were also struggling at the time, began to see some really wild success in their practice. And I started getting, all these people were telling me like, dude, like, you need to teach this stuff. There are so many chiropractors out there that are struggling, man. You need to teach them what you've taught us. And for a long time, I put that off. And I was like, nah, man, I'm just kind of, I'm busy with the practice. I'm focused on the practice. But then I started thinking, one of my goals, one of my dreams from the very beginning of my career in chiropractic back in the late 90s was that I wanted to be able to educate people around the world, around the globe, on what chiropractic is, so that they could get chiropractic. And because I really truly believe that chiropractic saves lives. And I started thinking about what my friends were saying, and I started thinking like, wow, I could stay focused just on the practice and serving the people around my community, or I could step out and really start teaching this stuff so that other chiropractors are able to see more people and save more lives. And in 2010, I decided to start doing that full time. So I sold my half of the practice to my business partner, and I became a full-time chiropractic marketer, helping chiropractors all over the globe see more people, make more money, and save more lives. And I couldn't be happier than what I'm doing right now. I really love helping chiropractors succeed. And it's really what I do, and for me, it's the best job in the world. I absolutely love what I do.